The story begins in 2029, as the city of Los Angeles is still in ruins. Humans and machines are constantly fighting. Sarah Connor narrates that in 1997's nuclear disaster, nearly 3 billion people died. After T-800 failed to eliminate Sarah Connor in 1984, an enhanced version of it called T-1000 was sent in the year 1995 to murder John Connor. However, to counter this attack, John Connor from the future sends a T-800 in 1995 to prevent the T-1000 from killing his younger self. The T-800 lands in Los Angeles, just like the previous Terminator, and proceeds to a nearby bar where it requests clothes, but upon refusal to comply it uses force. It then walks away with not only clothes, but also the shotgun and motorcycle of the biker gang. On the other hand, the T-1000 also lands in the city, and a cop notices the strange glow that shines on the area. The robot kills the man, showing his advanced abilities, which consist of a liquid metal shell. It steals the cop's uniform and then leaves to find and kill John Connor. Meanwhile, John Connor, presently a 10-year-old boy, lives with his foster parents. Being a troublesome child, he ignores his mother's advice to clean his room and leaves to hang out with his friend. Next, we see Sarah Connor, who is admitted to a mental institute after she attempted to blow up a computer factory that she believed to be the reason behind the invention of killer robots in the future. However, as she couldn't produce any concrete evidence, no one believed her, and she was thought to be crazy. Sarah claims not to be crazy, but the doctors force her to have her medicine. The Terminator goes to John's house, where he pretends to be a police officer, and from John's foster parents, he manages to get some information about John, as well as his picture. John's parents, however, also tell him about another strange man who came earlier to ask about John. In the meantime, John goes with his friend and steals some money from an ATM. During his conversation with his friend, he tells them that he doesn't like his mother, whom he finds a loser as she got caught trying to blow up a computer company and is now admitted to a mental institute. Sarah gets a vision where Kyle tells her that their son John is in danger and she must protect him. Sarah wakes up, and when the doctors ask her about her earlier views about robotic war, she denies them and says she no longer holds the same beliefs. At the CYBERDYNE Systems Corporation, the director, Mr. Dyson, examines the microchip and a robotic hand that they retrieved from the original Terminator, which failed in its mission to eliminate Sarah Connor in 1984. He wants to use their technology to build an artificial intelligence system called Skynet. Sarah asks her psychologist to let her meet her son, but the psychologist denies her request, thinking Sarah hasn't made any real progress. Sarah gets angry and leaps at the doctor and even tries to choke him, due to which the nurses intervene and tie her up. The T-1000 reaches the game center where John is playing with his friend. John's friend learns about the police officer finding him, so they rush to warn John. On the other hand, the T-800 also arrives there to save John. Upon seeing the muscular T-800 pointing a gun, John gets scared, but when he notices that the bullets did not harm the T-1000 disguised as a police officer, he realizes something is not right. The Terminator instructs John to run while it battles the other robot. After a long chase, the T-800 and John manage to outsmart the T-1000 and escape. The Terminator then explains to John that it is a robot sent from the future by the adult John to save his younger self from another robot called T-1000 who is here to kill him. John wishes to talk to his foster parents, and they use a telephone booth to call them. However, when John's mother behaves too kindly to him, he gets surprised and 800 takes the phone from his hand, imitating John's voice. The Terminator quickly realizes that the caller on the other end is not a human, but the T-1000. The call ends, and we see that John's foster parents and the dog have been killed by the killer robot. At the hospital, Sarah is shown pictures of T-800, who everyone thinks has kidnapped John, and seeing him, Sarah gets frightened. She feels he has come back to get revenge. and she must protect her son. John realizes that 800 will follow his commands, so he asks T-800 to help him free his mother. However, Sarah frees herself and tries to escape out of the facility. The T-1000 anticipates John's arrival at the facility, so it also goes there. Upon seeing John and the T-800 together, Sarah gets frightened. John calms her down, explaining that the Terminator is here to save them and not kill them like before. The new robot, which can change its body into any shape, attacks them in the elevator using its metallic hands. Sarah gets injured, but they manage to leave in a car. The Terminator helps stitch Sarah, and she also removes the bullets from his body. While discussing, John wonders if the Terminator can learn new things to which it can remove a chip from its brain and reprogram it however it likes. However, Sarah still doesn't trust the robot and tries to destroy the chip, but John stops her and puts it back in the Terminator after programming it. The next day, the group starts traveling towards the south. During their journey, Sarah inquires about the man responsible for the creation of Skynet, to which the T-800 reveals that Mr. Dyson is the one whose work leads to the creation of Skynet. He informs them that Dyson is the director of special projects at CYBERDYNE System Corporation. He also warns them that funding for the Skynet program has been approved and it will go online very soon. He informs them that once it's fully activated, it will attempt to stop humanity, but when humans try to shut it down, it will retaliate by attacking Russia, thus starting a nuclear war that will engulf the whole planet. Sarah then asks the Terminator to provide her with more information so she can prevent all of this. Later, the group goes to a location owned by Sarah's friend, where they have some hidden weapons. Sarah also notices that John and the Terminator are starting to bond. However, this peace doesn't last long, as Sarah begins to have visions where the world is being destroyed. Under the influence of the visions, she drives off alone, trying to kill Mr. Dyson and stop the whole nuclear war from ever happening. John and T-800 follow her. After finding Mr. Dyson, she shoots him, but she cannot kill him, as he too has a family. Soon John and T-800 arrive there, and they explain how his invention will soon destroy the whole planet. Hearing this, Mr. Dyson wishes to prevent it and offers his help. For this, he suggests they destroy the chip and the robotic hand they found, which still lies in the CYBERDYNE Systems office. The team travels to CYBERDYNE Systems Corporation to erase all data. They plant bombs throughout the building and also find the microchip and the robotic hand. However, before they can complete their mission, the police arrive and demand their surrender. John asks T-800 not to kill anyone as it tries to hold the police out of the building. After firing at the police cars, the Terminator returns and asks everyone to leave since they must detonate the bombs. John and T-800 leave, but just as Sarah and Dyson are about to go, the cops storm the lab and begin firing. Mr. Dyson gets shot and asks Sarah to leave, while he sacrifices himself. The trio manages to escape safely, but the T-1000 arrives there and starts pursuing them in a police airplane. Sarah is shot in the leg as the shootout begins. The T-1000 crashes the aircraft into their truck, thus causing a huge explosion. The trio escapes in a car, and the T-1000 chases them in a truck packed with nitrogen gas. The truck collides with the gate of a steel factory, causing liquid nitrogen to leak, and this freezes the robot. T-800 uses this opportunity to blast the frozen Terminator, shattering it into several pieces. However, the heat from the steel factory causes it to melt again, and it reactivates. The trio goes inside the factory to seek refuge. The 1000 manages to defeat the T-800 due to its modern technology, and also disables the T-800's power source. As Sarah and John run to save themselves, the T-1000 disguises itself as Sarah and calls John. The real Sarah finds it and shoots it, pushing it towards the edge of molten steel. But just as it's about to fall, she runs out of ammo. Luckily, the T-800 gets up again and comes to her rescue. It fires at the T-1000, and it finally falls into the molten steel and thus gets destroyed. Afterward, They also destroy the microchip and arm so Skynet never gets created. Lastly, the Terminator explains to them that it must also be destroyed, otherwise its technology will be used to create Skynet. Sarah assists in lowering the T-800 into the vat, as John tearfully bids farewell. The T-800 gives John a thumbs up before dissolving. Terminator 2 Judgment Day, released in 1991. Directed by James Cameron, produced on a budget of approximately $94 to $102 million. Terminator 2 Judgment Day won 4 Academy Awards for Best Sound, Best Makeup, Best Visual Effects, and Best Sound Editing. The film is notable for its groundbreaking special effects, particularly the liquid metal effects of the T-1000, which were a combination of practical effects and computer-generated imagery. While it is an action-packed film, it also touches on themes like destiny, human versus machine, and the idea of a machine learning human values and emotions. This film is often regarded as one of the best sequels ever made and has cemented its place in cinematic history as a classic. Please subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the next recap.